You never arise, or should I say, you never grow above where you came from, because if you can't go home, you messed up pretty bad, my dad told me.
Bad.
Wherever you went, it all started from here. It pushed you, it drove you, it made you believe if there's no hope, there's no faith. If there's no faith, you can't believe. Now that's what my daddy told me. And if you go abroad from home, wherever you go, your home goes with you, wherever you come from.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, you have to come home at some point in time just to reflect on where you originated at, to know that you have matriculated or been the same all the way through. And at this point in time in our lives, to say, and we're not better than anyone, but to say we have not been successful would be untrue, because from a social dynamic, a spiritual dynamic more than everything else, we see much more clearly now what was being taught to us.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So in essence, why do you still do what you do to help the individuals in the boot and wherever you go abroad?
I'm motivated by the theory of nothing.
We were going to speak of that. Please get
I'm motivated by the theory of nothing.
You must teach the audience what the theory of nothing is, because I told you the other day, that's as gigantic as the gentleman that made the shirt, a kid from Newark, a kid from Brooklyn. That there is awesome, because it speaks for itself to anyone, any color, any age or whatever, because the theory of nothing. You're going to go into it because of the fact that nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Nothing.
You got the floor.
You know, I was fortunate enough to listen to one of the most respected minds I know in football to talk about the theory of nothingness. And that's my friend and former coach at Louisiana State University, and of course, the great institution of Alabama, Nick Saban. And long ago, I heard Nick talk about, two things that prevent people from achieving their goals in life. One is misunderstanding the process, and two, being present in the process. Being present in the process. So with that in mind, I'm going to go back to the theory of nothingness. You wake up every day, okay? Wake up every day. You're fortunate enough to breathe oxygen into your body and put both your feet on the floor. But what are you entitled to? Nothing. You take off into the world, you put your clothes on, you go to make it a great day, you go to your job, you spend 8 hours, you leave your job. But at the end of the day, if you didn't have success, what do you have? Nothing. You go home to your spouse, you look at your spouse, your 2 kids, you turn the TV on, you look at your car in the driveway, you say, wow, look at this. How'd this happen? Well, you worked. And you worked your tail off for it. But if you didn't work to achieve it, how do you feel? Empty. As if you accomplished nothing. So the theory of nothing pertains to nothing ventured in any aspect of your life on a daily basis. Don't expect nothing else from it. You got to put something in to get something out. Into every day, every second, every minute, to always bettering your best. Never rest on your laurels. They pat you on the back after a game. Oh man, that was great the way you played. That was then.
Got to move to the next.
Got to move to the next person. Got to move to the next ball game. Got to move to the next opportunity. It can't be about what you did in the past. It's got to be about what's forward.
In the present.
And think of it this way. Failure is not an obstacle unless you let it become an obstacle. It can make you become stagnant, or it can motivate you to spiral ahead. Failure needs to become the greatest motivator in the world to you. You lose a fight, you lose a game, you don't score the basket, you miss out on an opportunity. Come back with vengeance. Come back with determination. Come back with the mindset that I am going to be successful and I'm going to do the things it takes to be successful. But don't take failure as content.
Question, and that would be this here. What is the difference in the young people now and us in the aspect whereas you just spoke of never being satisfied with being satisfied? We competed in checkers against girls and everything else during that time. That has somewhat been taken away, not only in our communities, but throughout to a degree that it's an even playing field, whereas in essence it's not.
Poochie, you boxed to be a good boxer, right? Hell no, you didn't. You boxed to be a great boxer. That's why you're a Hall of Fame boxer. Okay? That's why you're a Hall of Fame boxer. I played the game of football, right? Because I wanted to see my name in that stadium one day. I wanted my grandkids to see my name in that stadium one day. I wanted them to know who Leonard Marshall really was.
So it wasn't about you.
It wasn't about me.
About the legacy.
About my legacy.
Well, they said, Coach Verducci told me once, and this is so true. Take my money, you take nothing.
You take nothing.
You take my
legacy
name. You
and
take
my
my
name. You take
That's
everything
the greatest
from me.
asset. And it's like, I was not the greatest anything. I participated. I did the best I could. I could have done better probably if I was more focused. But I competed. Now, competing doesn't mean you're always going to be victorious. But it doesn't mean that you bring your A game every time you come.
Every time you come. Show up, be present, but more than that, be accountable. Go back and look at any game film, any championship era of football I played in. I didn't want to be just a player on the field, Poochie. I want you to know my name. I want you to remember my name. I want to sack your quarterback. I want to destroy your quarterback.
But wait,
I want you to say that Leonard Marshall was a beast.
Well, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I got to put this out there. Will.
Okay.
Was that your mindset when you did that to Joe Montana?
That was my mindset. My mindset was to leave a legacy on that field that will go in perpetuity for the rest of my life and hopefully the rest of my grandchildren's life. I'm serious.
I'm only laughing because competition is competition.
It's competition.
And the difference that I found that you can be a Hall of Fame this, you can be that, and you can always have people say, oh, he wasn't this or she wasn't that, but long as you know you did your best. That's what we were taught. Do your best to compete. Now, as you compete, the more you compete, the more you get a certain amount of confidence within yourself and your abilities, and you keep working, trying to be the best you can. In retrospect, I'm going to slide that right now to work for us. Now, you teach finance and things of that nature there. How did you get into that?
Okay, so I go back to it. So I started on it and we got off target, and that's my fault. So in '83, the Giants established a program called Continuing Education. It was spearheaded by George Martin. Of course, George Martin pulled Harry Carson into it, and the two of them got hip to hip with Dean Kenneth Firkins at Edwin Williams College at Fairleigh Dickinson University.
TDEC?
TDEC. So be it that, about 17 of the young guys on the team decided to enroll in the program. Myself, Perry Williams, and a few others. You know, as it would play out, Perry and I ended up coming out the program real well. We both graduated cap and gown. I got my cap and gown. I was the first player to do it in '91 after our second Super Bowl. Perry followed me. Okay, took that, parlayed that into another opportunity with continuing ed at Seton Hall University. Went back, worked on my MBA, worked on my certification in management. Did that. Was also a professor in the Stillman School of Business from 2004 to 2009. And now maintain strong relationships and strong ties to Seton Hall University because of it. So I guess you could say this applies. I always kept trying to better my best. I always tried to keep trying to show these young guys, you know, this is how to do it. I mean, I'm having a conversation with Justin Tuck this weekend, and I paid that brother some homage because he went back to school, got his MBA at Wharton. He now works in the finance business at Goldman Sachs. He's doing very well. His kids, his family, the legacy that he's going to leave from being a great Giant, will transcend, hopefully down south into Alabama and to the rest of his family all across the country.
But beyond the football field.
Beyond the football field. And that's what makes me happy when I see stuff like that happen, because that's what we should do as black people. Cheer and celebrate the successes of others, especially young people that follow us, man. I tell them, be better than me. Don't be me, be better than me.
You know, it's funny. We're sitting here, we're talking, and this is a conversation that most of us had growing up. And it's not necessarily a dual parenting in a household, but somewhere from a coach to a minister or something, you had that in the communities. You don't see that much anymore because of Google. Now, what do you have to say about Google? Google in the aspect that you had to go buy that library card for $1.50, and if you was back 3 days late with the book and things like that, and it would still be on the books that you owed for the book. But the fact of the matter, you had to do the legwork yourself.
Yes.
It wasn't just no. You had to go to the library. If you didn't know the author, but you knew the name, you could still find it. But you had to do the legwork, and in the interim of that happening, you would get discouraged. Maybe a librarian would help you or whatever, but if they saw you doing the effort, and that's what's the difference. Because a lot of young people, I'm not going to say they're bad, but there's a certain group that are, I would say they're intimidated is the word, because they have a deficiency for comprehension or reading or speaking in front of people and things like that. But that comes with constantly, continuously trying to overcompensate that which they don't have confidence in, and the support of those that come behind them, as far as the mentors and the people that are around your kids. Now more than ever, you have so many prima donnas in Pop Warner. They didn't have that when we were growing up.
Did not.
You didn't get a participation trophy. How do you feel about that? I'm not big on that.
I mean, there shouldn't be no such thing as a participation trophy. Okay? I was MVP of the Giants 3 times. 85, 86, and 91. I was MVP of the Giants with Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson standing left and right of me. Okay? Why? Because I competed at a high level. I was the best player at my position in that year, and I was the greatest asset to our teams that particular year. So I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it because it should be what drives you to achieve that zeal.
If they're the utopian, you strive for it.
Yeah, strive for that zeal. Okay? Put the target there. Now, that started when I was 9 years old from playing bitty basketball. My first teacher and mentor and coach, Ray Landry. I mean, this cat instilled it in me. Leonard, be that big baller. Be the guy that would come away from the game. That's the MVP of the tournament. That's who I was, man. And I became that because of the leadership I had as a young boy.
You had a little basketball in you?
Basketball was my sport.
Really?
Basketball was my sport. I just didn't think I could.
No way.
I'm telling you, I was a point guard.
Don't have me go out there now.
I'm serious. I had it. I had game. Anybody will tell you, I had over 100 trophies by the time I was 12 years old.
What?
Played on the bitty basketball all-star team. Played on the all-star team with Johnny Hector, who ended up playing for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
We grew up together.
He's from the boot?
He from the boot.
How many guys around from the boot?
Oh, there's a bunch. Kevin Falk. I'm going to miss some names. I don't want to piss nobody off, but Kevin Falk, Eli Manning. Let me think. God, man, there's a ton.
It's
bro.
really?
There's a ton of us from Louisiana. The kid that just signed with the Giants, Malik Neighbors, comes from my hometown. His mother's from my hometown.
Explain.
He grew up in Lafayette.
Now, I know about Lafayette.
You know about Lafayette?
Explain to the audience the difference of Louisiana as far as the urbanism of them, the projects. One-room shack, you go in and you come out the back. It's not as glamorous as they might show you.
Well, most of the houses in Louisiana for low-income people are shotgun homes, or they're homes that, sleep 5, they're 2-bedroom, maybe 1.5 bathroom homes. They're Section 8 homes.
The shacks?
They're shacks. They're shacks. Some of them are apartment buildings. I grew up in a single-family house. My father built the project next to us. Built a 12-unit complex